Hey,
Um,
Wooly, you skipped something.
hmm?
Talking about the Resident Evil 8 stuff.
the
You,
rumors.
no, you forgot to talk about the announcement of Reverse.
Oh, yes, yes, true. I thought. Oh no, that wasn't last week. Right. Damn. It was so there was so much discussion about it that I for a second thought it was
They,
already talked about. RE
to those
verse
of you,
is a pretty
oh,
hilarious pun name. Good on them for
did
getting
you
that.
did you see the trailer?
Yeah, it looked like online Resident Evil.
This this looks like one of the worst things Capcom has ever put out.
Is it not just like online RE, like basically the equivalent of BioShock multiplayer?
Yeah, but it looks way, way worse than BioShock multiplayer did. It legit looks like a Steam Unity game. Like it looks so bad.
I saw a
I
Leon shooting a Jill, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess you can do that.
The characters are all weird sizes. I don't know if you picked that up from the
No,
trailer,
I certainly didn't.
but they're being put in the maps, but the maps are too small, so the characters have been smallened so that there's room to do fights in the maps. And it's
Okay.
super weird. It's super weird.
I guess that the police station, like the one where Leon's desk is, that did seem a little bigger than
Yeah,
usual.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Now that you pointed out.
um I can only expect that there must be some people in Capcom that are just like desperate to make like Resident Evil esport or some shit, because this is like the fifth of
Yep.
these things to come
Yep.
out.
It's because
Like
if it
every two
works,
years.
it's fucking cash money. Cash money millionaires. That's all
Yeah,
they
but
got to
they
do.
always give it like $40 and 10 guys.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But
None of which like,
it's the
oh.
idea that it might work, you know?
But
Yeah.
also like it's even one of those trailers where it like the frame rate is terrible in all the footage and there's like a mouse cursor just sitting on the screen at one point, and it's just like, man, this is like sea level effort.
It gets the investors to shut up about when are you going to make your own whatever though. It'll fucking do that. Hey, well, why can't we get some of that Fortnite money? Oh, we can. We're making our own. Here it
Like
is.
it's just wild when you're watching the Resident Evil Village event and they're showing off the stuff, and it has so much care being put into everything about it. And it shows like, man, Capcom really cares about this game. And what about this though? And you're like, oh, you guys don't give a shit, huh?
It's it's
Wow.
it's hay. It's hay for the quarterly meetings to just stuff in front of the cows and let them chew.
That's
Uh,
wild. I've been following Capcom's spin-off online things since they made them, and they have literally gotten worse with every game.
have any of them been any good at all?
Outbreak 1 and 2 for the PS2 were weird but kind of solid, and every single thing that came after that was worse than the one before.
Wasn't like the Mercenaries games kind of just like wild arcadey action anyway?
They sure were, and they were great.
Why didn't they just do that?
Why didn't they just do that? There's a 3DS game that's that, and it sold pretty well.
Hmm. Hmm. Curious.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild. You've never played, I can't even remember the name. Operation Raccoon City is pretty motherfucking bad. But
Hmm.
have you even seen Umbrella Corps with your
I I
eyes?
don't. I can't promise that I have.
It's astonishing. It was bad enough that when we did the video of it, we made sure that we didn't record for longer than an hour and a half so that we could use the Steam refund to return it.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, we were sitting there and we're like, holy shit, hey, check out the laptop. Make sure it doesn't go over an hour 30. Because we're going to fucking refund this the instant this video is over.
Wow. I feel like there was a game I got that didn't fucking work and I refunded it live, but I don't remember what
That's
it was.
oh,
Anyway.
I could do just, yeah, you know what? Cue up the next news story, and while you're doing that, go fucking look at 30 seconds of footage from the IGN video review that I just sent you. Just look at it. Look at it with your fucking eyes. It is the worst.
The fact that they keep trying, though, means something. It really does. Like, they're desperate to get into that world and get a foothold in it. And I feel like every time they reach in, they're pulling that foot out of fighting games to get closer to the esports world they want.
I was told many years ago by somebody at Capcom that this is because of yeah, keep watching, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, Steam Unity vibes, like, huge.
Oh man, there's a part where the guy's running around with a fucking axe that is just the most worstest.
Like,
It's
I can
at
just
1:30. It's at 1:30. Go to that part. I'm watching the IGN video review of Umbrella Corps review.
I mean, so I'm looking this to me, yeah, okay. Like, this, I'm hearing Jimquisition music playing behind it as he's talking about some other issue entirely, and you just have to stare at this footage while he makes his point.
I want to point out that this Umbrella Corps shared superficial elements with Mercenaries, and I think internally this was, we'll make a Mercenaries game like this, and they made this fucking garbage. But I was told many years ago that the reason why these Resident Evil games come out like this is because there are internal disagreements as to what is the real Resident Evil. Like, what Resident Evil is really about. Is it an action series like 4, 5, and 6? Is it survival horror? Is it an online fucking... I don't know who over there fucking thinks that. Like, and or why, because it's literally never been an online series ever. But like, there are like 3 or 4 groups that are just always fighting over, no, our Resident Evil is the real Resident Evil. Now, hopefully those people have got their mouths shut the fuck up now that Resident Evil 2 remake and 7 have done really well. But like, holy shit.
I mean, it is interesting to see, because they like Capcom knows this is one thing people currently fucking love, and it's super hot. And, you know, if they're gonna take these swings and misses, I'd rather they do it with this than Devil May Cry. So Ari can catch
Devil May Cry.
Game.
What are you talking about? Devil May Cry has already had its swings and misses. It's like,
I mean, multiplayer fucking not foible nonsense specifically.
Oh, but wouldn't you kill for a good Devil May Cry multiplayer game?
A good one, I would murder for. Yes, absolutely.
It's really funny because they keep doing this with Resident Evil, and people go, "I would love a good Resident Evil multiplayer game," and every time they make it, people go, "No, not like that, like Outbreak," and then they pretend that they don't know what Outbreak is. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Devil May Cry and Dragon's Dogma, like there are levels in those games where you're playing with AI partners constantly. Just let them be player controlled, for God's sake.
Yep.
Just let the player control the existing AI partner, please.
Popping your DT already functions as a burst when you're getting comboed. It already kicks you out of boss grabs. Yeah. Anyway, shout outs to Hitchhiker. Um. So, yes, there was that. There was Reverse. There is a rumor that Capcom Division 1 is taking over and there might be an RE4 overhaul. Did you hear about this?
I did hear, but yeah, I heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me. Can you ask me that question again so I can answer more succinctly?
Have you heard about the RE4 remake?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Okay.
Apparently, Capcom's not happy with M2's handling of Resident Evil 3 remake, and want to put Capcom Division 1 back
Mm-hmm.
on the RE4 remake, which would be the people who made RE7 and Resident Evil 2 remake. And that's a rumor going around, and I could say, yeah, I could say I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say that if Capcom were to be making a Resident Evil 4 remake, the people inside that company would be well aware, oh man, can we not fuck this one up? If we fuck this one up, we will be a fucking joke forever. Do whatever it takes. Do literally whatever it takes to make this a good one.
I remember, uh, God, I think it was the stories would always be whenever you heard a story that came out in the news like 10, 15 years ago, where it was like Capcom Division 1 or Capcom Division 4 were working on something, and it was always reason to get excited.
Yep. It's nobody it's this thing it's this thing where you don't want to diminish people's work on a game. And the Dark Souls franchise was the one that had it the worst with the A team and the B team, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's unfortunate, and it's like where games are the product of huge amounts of individuals. It can't be understated just how much influence the right or wrong person can have on an entire project. It can make a world of difference to have somebody who knows what they're doing go, that's fucking stupid, don't do that, versus somebody who really doesn't know what they're doing go, yeah, that seems like a cool idea, let's blow 6 months on that. So yeah, when you hear about the right team, I'm doing big air quotes,
Mm-hmm.
being on something, so yeah. I do feel bad for M2. Apparently, they wanted to do a much more accurate Resident Evil 3 remake, and Capcom wanted big changes, which sounds like the kind of management decision that Capcom literally keeps making over and over again. Like over and over and over. Hey, let's make a new one of these. Make it crazy different. I don't know if people want crazy different. It's got to be crazy different. Oh, people didn't like it as much as the one that wasn't crazy different. You're fired.
Um. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So.
Dante needs to smoke in this fucking trailer. Like, come on.
Just don't call him Dante. Just make it an original IP.
Could you imagine how different history would have been to that game if the word Dante and Devil were not in that game at all?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It would have been viewed like a slam dunk. Look at this cool new IP from Capcom. I hope it has a future.
Well, Ninja Theory.
Yeah, whatever. People would have liked it. I would have liked it. I would have been so much more fair to it.
Yeah,
I've been like, holy shit, after Enslaved, this is a fucking slam dunk.
they
Holy
stepped
shit.
it up, yeah, and then Hellblade, and then like, hey, look at that. Their last two games, fucking, there it is. You know, but it's
It legitimate,
just...
like, whenever you hear about Capcom kind of dipping their toes in, it always makes me wonder, like, how much of that that fucking version of DMC was Capcom going, no, differenter. Differenter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's that, and then we swerved away from the Strive features, which included I mentioned the little assist thing, story mode coming back. It looks like it's there. Something about the trailer implied like the final decision that Soul chooses or something. So this might be something to wrap up. And quite frankly, the way things are at the moment, there are only a few questions left to answer. They're big ones, but there's only a few questions left. So the story of Guilty Gear could theoretically wrap up here, and it would be okay, because
I believe that.
they've gotten stuff out of the way. What else did they mention? The gallery. Oh yeah, GG World with the relationship chart, so you can now click on a character and see all the lines and dots.
That's actually hella amazing, because some of that's really complex.
Very much so, So yeah, you can go fucking click on Justice and just see 80 lines pop out of her and see where they go. So that's going to be interesting. The gallery, rollback, online netcode, lobbies. What was it? There was a picture I saw that was showing you. Okay, it's not here, but there's a screenshot I saw of the. There's training mode, tutorials, and then I saw a matchup learning screen that had a text that says like "Learn the chip matchup."
Yeah, in the training mode, they describe that. No, sorry, not training. In mission mode, or one of the single player, they describe that they will teach you how to deal with real situations.
Yes.
And
seeing that,
I assume, yeah,
that's like the idea of a matchup is a real crucial piece of information that is emergent. Like you learn it by playing the games anyway, but straight up handing you that information is absolutely crucial and critical. And it's a piece of tech that I've talked with people that are like actually like working on fighting games and stuff. We've had discussions about like how to implement these types of things, and like I kind of had an idea in mind, which was like, if you have a replay system and you have ghost learning, which exists in a bunch of fighting games now, but the ghost replay data is not really that. There's not much to do with it besides like, hey, look, it plays a lot like me and creates an AI. Shadow mode in KI is a little more advanced than like the version in Samurai Showdown, but they both kind of amount to like, yep, it's an AI version of me. They had it in Virtual Fighter Final Showdown, I remember, as well, in the arcade tour mode, or maybe it was 4 Evo actually. But why not use that same learning system to recognize mistakes, point them out, and let someone know that like, hey, in the future, right? Like let's say you had 2 or 3 moments where you blocked a big old fireball and then you didn't hurt the opponent afterwards. It can just straight up let you know that like that was an opening that you missed a couple times, right? Let's practice how to do that.
I would like a situation where I'm looking over replay data and I'm in the corner and Potemkin jumps in and I fail to hit my anti-air, and a little text box comes in and goes, 84% of players that miss the anti-air against Potemkin in the quarter die within 15 seconds.
Stats.
It's vital to hit your anti-airs if Potemkin has pushed you into the corner.
Oh, did you get mega fisted and without doing your 6P? Yeah, 84% of players. Yep, that's good. That's good. The data, fear data. I like it. Yeah, Tekken has been putting a bunch of features out. I know Tekken includes punishing a school. So Tekken has specifically like blocking this move by this character that they do often. Here's a good punish for it, right? So it gets you part of the way there, which is good. I'm not just talking about punishing. I'm also talking about like other scenarios that you can capitalize on that the game will just straight up teach you. Like, oh, this when Guile does his sweep, his feet swing around twice. So you have extra long to challenge that.
All I can think of is the system just like naturally ending up becoming like a shaming system instead of a teaching tool. That's like only 3% of all players have managed to lose the round with this kind of life lead at this stage in the
Yeah. 2% of players keep getting hit by Ground Viper after the first 5. Interesting
block
stat.
ground Viper.
Interesting stat. Just so you know.
That was the incredible.
Oh boy, man!
You know what's
Bullied
funny
by data. Bullied offline by data. Like Scrub Quotes is just gonna be a fucking pie chart. It's just gonna be a pie chart and someone getting really mad at it.
I have experience dealing with this kind of system. I don't use it quite often, but I have in the past used something called Final Fantasy Logs, which you use a parser to record your raid data when you go into a Final Fantasy 14 raid, and it maps out the encounter and then records all of your movement, and it will tell you it'll hit you up like, do you have a gray, green, blue, or purple parse, which is what percentile do you rank in of damage per second. And then it will break down, listen, you missed 4 cooldowns during burst windows. Hey, you got hit by X% of AoEs. You would not have died here if you would not, etc. Right? And like you'll do it and you're not good, and it will just rain shame upon you. It'll be like, you missed your rotation here, you missed the burst window here, you died here, your uptime was down here.
Okay, yo, you it appears you've started the last 10 rounds by jumping forward.
You have lost the last 10 rounds.
Interesting. You've started the last 10 matches by holding up forward every single time. And here's your loss ratio. Interesting correlation here. Here's what you fucking do. You take that AI learning fucking system that can create ghosts of your playstyle, but instead of making a ghost, you just create a fucking flowchart and show you your flowchart. Because you can do that. You can literally create the round 1 fight, super dash, we going in. Did it hit? No. Mass jab. Did it hit? Yes. Mass jab. Auto combo. Do I have meter? You know?
I think the natural end result of the situation, after you play like Soul for a while and you switch to Chip, and the system will tell you, listen, you've lost every match you have ever played as Chip. And then it locks Chip out from you, and when you go to click on it, it just puts you into training mode.
Try the basics. Yeah, just encouraging you to just, hey, let's go over to this mode. Are you sure you want to back out of this online match? No, I just want to play. I just want to picture. Are you sure you want to leave the game?
You were in training mode. Let's try some beginner combos. And then if the system's really good, it can get real condescending. Like you do like a basic jab 2-in-1. Wow, great job! You're really getting up to the big leagues now.
Oh my god, you have done a wake up DP every time you hit the ground for the last 5 matches. Every single time you've woken up, you've done a DP.
It has hit 4% of the time. Legitimately, any system that could surface
fuck!
even like really baby versions of this data would be incredible. Like
Or
and
dude,
really really
just,
simple stuff like,
yeah,
hey,
no,
how many throws did you tech?
yeah. Or you're in neutral, right? Like nothing's happening right now. You're not losing damage. You're just actively in neutral, but you're kind of just like standing there or just doing the same thing. Like you have no movement, and it'll just go, hey, what are you doing right now? What's your plan right now? Are you thinking of anything? Do you have anything in mind right now? Oh,
like
fuck,
it's
dude.
there's a lot of like easily surfaced data that I think you could totally actually show people that would help them. Like for me personally, I just saw somebody mention it and it snapped me to life, which is tell me how many bars of meter I created and were lost because I was sitting on a full bar.
Okay, so
Right?
yeah, the thing is there that it doesn't mean always use your meter. It's not always use it or lose it in 100% of the cases, because sometimes
Yeah, but if it
there's
tells
reasons.
me that I could have had 3 supers.
Yeah, sure. Or you had conversions that you didn't take. Here's a jab you landed, but you didn't convert anything. Damage on the table. You know. Here's everything you didn't get out of that moment. Oh, here's all your dropped combos. We noticed your bread and butter is here because you do it all the time, but here's how often you drop it.
Oh man, you know what would be the ultimate, but it would not apply to us? If you're playing and you drop combos all the time, it backs you up to the menu, and you look up and it goes, "Are you sure you live in this region?" As it changes the flag to Canada. It appears
the
that you
tutorial
seem to love
updates to be Canadian resets.
combos. Oh, Canadian
Resets. Canadian resets. Drop combo, reopen it up with the mash.
Canadian. Who invented that? Who became
someone
the
on
Canadian
commentary?
reset?
Someone on commentary. I don't know who it was. At one of our events, just look. We had a guest that came up, and they're like, oh, there we go. The Canadian reset. He dropped it, but he picked it back up, and we won the round. It's all good.
How can they plan around a reset that I don't know is going to happen?
Okay, when you eat like the 10th overhead, the game just pauses and just goes, dude, listen. Son,
you know what?
Listen.
we have a decent comment from the peanut gallery. We have somebody claiming to be a data scientist, says almost nobody would take advantage of this data because most people tend to disbelieve data that they don't agree with. And while that does ring true, if you go to the trouble of clicking on the help me get better data button, you are within the percentage of people that actually care what it wants to tell you.
There's that. There's also the part where even if you don't believe it, it doesn't matter. You can watch a replay that just shows it back to you. So it's objective. Like, no, you really did a DP every single time you woke up. Here's the replay.
I do have bad news for you. It's kind of astonishing how many people will ignore objective evidence.
Oh, that's fine, but it's still there. They're allowed to be stupid and crazy. That's okay. Wow, yeah, that is, dude, like a fucking mean ass game that just says, fuck you, what are you doing here? That's not the feature I was trying to design or that I was thinking of. I was legitimately discussing a feature that was like, find a lesson that applies from the have a bunch of matchup lessons and then find the 1 or 3 that would apply to that round or that game, you know, so that you can go like, yo, literally, here's how to get better in that exact match right away and immediately start covering those mistakes, you know, so that the frustration goes right to a place where you can go, fuck it, run it back. I'm about to learn how to do it. You know,
there is a feature that I did not mention in the Final Fantasy equivalent of this that if it were introduced into fighting games, it would be stellar. And when you do your parse for your FF log or your FF14 analysis, whichever, it's a whole process, right?
Mhm.
You're not just parsing yourself. You're parsing the entire 8-man group. You can see everything and everyone's data. So I think it was mom's girlfriend that put up, they found the worst dancer ever, and they put up the log, and the person literally was hitting a single button over the entire raid with 1 minute and 40 seconds in between button presses. Right? You could see that.
Hmm.
You can look at the data and see, oh my god, this motherfucker is
Hmm.
just like absent-mindedly clicking on a button, just da 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 ba ba do, like trying to get carried, right? The fighting game equivalent of that would be fantastic because it would be like, let's go look at the replay of the guy you just lost to, and you look at their data, and the computer's like, I don't know how you lost to this guy. This guy's trash. This guy can't convert, never hits their anti-airs,
Oh,
always wakes up super.
how they perform in every other match. Yeah, yeah, okay. The
Like the
habits.
player you just lost to loses 99% of their matches.
We just noticed 85 stick inputs within 2 seconds.
Are you all right?
Data is beautiful. Data is beautiful.
I would love to just see global data. Data like, did you know that in Street Fighter V, 60% of supers don't land?
Sure.
Like
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
made up
yeah.
number.
No,
But
totally.
like, wouldn't that be crazy to think about?
It would. It would be really
Like
interesting.
80% of throws go untech'd.
So here's what I want too. Again, on back to like a real note here. When I see a matchup number, it's nice to know that this is a 7-3 matchup, but I want to know like how much life you have on average. Do you win by or lose by? Are these close rounds, or are they domination? You know, what are we looking at with the remaining life bar on the winner? It'd be curious.
I just thought of my very favoriteest data point you could find, which is you're loading into the match and it says 15% of players who have lost to this player have not played since.
Achievement unlocked.
Like
Send him home. Yeah. No,
achievement unlocked. You have bullied 20% of your matches out of playing the game.
you're hurting our business. If someone doesn't log in like for another X weeks, you gain some form of fucking you gain something from their profile. You claim their soul.
I love it.
Wow. Brutal. That's
Oh, I
where
just realized League does that as well. Like the blitz.gg thing, it'll tell me, hey, dude, you totally died in these types of skirmishes. Most people don't. You should focus on that.
also after X amount of weeks, even without adding them to your list, if that bitch goes online again, the game's like, yo, this bitch just got online. Fucking fight him right now.
Would you like matchmaking priority?
This bitch just logged in. You want it? You want some? First dibs? Fuck him up. Fuck him up. This is the best fighting game in the world. This is the greatest game
Yeah,
ever.
the one we just created in our minds. Yeah. One of my favorite experiences in fighting games is when Clemps was over at my house when he was visiting.
Enemy
And
codes,
I
baby.
gave him the basic, like some real basics for DBFZ, and he played a couple online matches, and he played one against like a Teen Gohan player that he trounced. Like he was dominating, and he was dominating because the person didn't look like they knew how to play the game at all and might have been a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like he was having lots of fun, and I just started to yell like, make sure that kid never plays again, like ruin their day.
uh,
And like he won, and we were like high-fiving, and we were like, yeah, we bullied that kid out of their Dragon Ball game. Fuck yeah.
yeah. This is imagine if you could like voluntarily turn the feature on though in a way so like when someone starts to playing the match where like I have a bad habit, I'm trying to get rid of it. So this is on, and as soon as I match up against you, the game for both of us, like the screen just says round 1, he's going to jump. Fight. You know? Yeah. Like, and you have to stop your moment, your habits. It's like when you used to put your hand to your mouth after landing a throw. It's like you call it out right before they do it, and they have to go, oh damn it, fuck, and stop what they're doing and change their habits, make you a better player. You know,
just like giant increasing large screens during all the intros, like don't jump. Don't jump. And then you jump and get hit by something, and then it slowly fades in. I told you.
Yep.
I just realized, like, fighting game players want to create an entire community out of Sasuke's. They want every child that gets their life destroyed to be like, no, I'm gonna get so strong, I'm gonna get them.
Foolish little one. Run, hate, get stronger, and come fight me when you're older.
No.
And then of course yes, why aren't fighting games more popular, quote unquote Woolie? Stupid assholes tend to use that as if that's a quote I've actually ever said. My discussion
Woolie is the leading world scientist on why fighting games aren't more popular.
When the fuck has your stupid brain ever heard me say, why aren't fighting games more popular? As if I don't have the discussion about all the problems and try to go the other way with it.
No, the difference is Woolie has said, why aren't fighting games more popular as an esport, which is a different thing.
Even then, we know why. There's a million clear reasons why.
It's because they're bad. It's because they're bad games. It's a terrible genre.
It's the most obvious fucking thing in the world. There's no mystery to it. It's how do you make it better? It's where do you go from here? We know why. We know about the problem of the uninviting game and the unintuitive.
If they made good games, they'd be popular.
It's the dumbest oversimplification.